Good. So when it comes to giving commands, we're going to want to use voice inflection. This is what's really going to help Bach understand. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Sit. After we give a command, we want to mark it. So whether he's done a good or bad job, right? If he's successful or unsuccessful, we need to let him know. So higher pitch for that good, sit, good, sit. Before we release him or pay him, we need to have a release command. And that word is going to be break. So after he's successfully done his job, if you will, we're going to then release him with that word. Break. Good boy, Bach. Good boy. Sit. Break. Yes, good boy. Dogs love repetitive noises. So high pitch, very exciting, clapping, smooching noise. Smooching noise to get his attention, right? We don't want to poison his name by saying it over. Bach, 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 just to get his attention. So typically I'll do, and then I have his full attention. He's now knows, oh, this is going to be high value. We want to really teach him that it is high value, everything going on right here with dad or whoever's working with him. Good, sit. We all like to be paid well for a job well done, so we need to make sure we pay Bach for a job well done. It doesn't mean big, large treats. We want to make the treats as small as possible. Good. Break. Yes. Good. And so one thing we can teach him is when he has 4 on the floor, that's when we give him attention, praise, love. But if he's jumping on us, to deter the jumping, we can simply turn our back away from him, taking our attention, which is the self-rewarding behavior that we're seeking.
So very frequently when I'm in front of the computer, you know, and especially in the morning, he might, you know, after I start working, he will absolutely sometimes try to get my attention. I could be on a Zoom call, and he'll try to jump on you. So how do I, is there a way to repress that, or?
So right now is a perfect example.
Right.
Bach is saying, by barking, he's saying, hey, Nick, pay attention to me. Hey, Nick, pay attention to me. And so I can simply ignore him. You could even cross your arms, look up at the sky, which takes away that attention.
Even though he's going to be jumping on my
leg. He's trying to say, hey, Dad, pay attention to me. And we're not giving him that. So once he sits, good boy, Bach, good boy. We can come down to him, praise him, and show him a ton of love. Good boy, Bach, good boy. But then if he jumps, nope, we can take our attention away. He's sitting, good boy, Bach. Sit, no, good, sit. Break, oh, that's a good boy, that's a good boy. Sit. No. And so very clear, we want to make sure we're not repeating ourselves. Give him a lot of time to problem solve and work through those commands. So I asked for a sit a moment ago. We're now going to, we received that sit. No, come. Good. We're going to capture that desired behavior. Even though we didn't get it right away. And he doesn't want to treat, that's fine. He's been released. We gave him that B word, that break. Good, sit. Break. Yes, good boy. Do you have any questions about?
Keep going. It says, I'll be watching this.
Perfect. So timing, 3 to 5 seconds in between commands. We want to make sure Bach has ample time again to work through those commands. So we're not poisoning the commands, and then the second thing is getting that hamster wheel going, really thinking about what we're asking. So rather than jumping, barking, pawing at me, he knows sit is a high value thing for him to do. Good, sit. Break. Yes. And again, break up those treats as small as possible. Come. So he sat automatically. When we give him the come command, we want his recall to be squared up on our body, and we're gonna pay him right in front of us. For other commands, like the heel, we want him to come around, be parallel to our left hip, and we're gonna either pay him across body, just like this, or we're gonna have that treat pouch, and we're gonna pay him on the side. We don't want him squaring up like he's being recalled. Good, come, brick, yes. And then as far as loose leash walking, we're gonna give him the let's go command. So if we wanna walk around the island, and I'll come right back in front, let's go. Good, let's go. Brick, excellent. And so as soon as he sat after the let's go, I released him, and now he can either stay sitting, and then if he wants to stay sitting, we can work on that longevity. So longevity, if he is sitting and stays sitting, we can pay him intermittently. Maybe we wait 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Let him know every so often that it's not just one and done. The longer he stays laying down, maybe we're at the restaurant, we want him there the whole time. So that's how we teach him that, hey, more is coming if you patiently wait. Good, sit. Brick. Excellent. And then with the potty pads, are you using potty pads anywhere in the house?
No, now I'm exclusively using those pads.
Okay.
Because they're really large and they're just too convenient. It's not the money, the cost.
Yeah.
It's just, his aim is actually pretty good. You know, it's probably 98% he hits it.
Yep.
You know?
And it gives him, if he likes to move around like that, it gives him more space.
Yeah, the only problem with outside, I had to go out and get some bricks so the thing doesn't blow off the thing.
Definitely.
But that seems to work. I mean, ideally what I'd like to do, like I told you before, is I would love him when he has to, I would rather him do his business outside than inside. So it would be, I don't know if that's possible, but I'd love to train him to alert me when he wants to go out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so, just like with anything, we need to pay attention to the signals. So one signal dogs typically learn pretty quickly is to wait by the door when they want to be let out to eliminate or just to go outside.
Right.
And so if he goes and does that and we never pay attention, we never let him out, we only let him out when we walk him over there, then he's going to eventually stop sitting by the door because he learns pretty quickly, hey, this doesn't work. But if we pay attention to the signs, he's going to do that and continue to do that.
Okay.
And for bell training, you can teach him to touch it, right? And then when he does, you open the door.
Right.
And so that's how we teach them how to use the bell system.
Okay.
Sit. Good. Break. For sit, it's palm up. For down, it's palm down. For stay, it's going to be palm away. So sit, down, and stay.
Okay.
Stay. No. Always come back and pay him in place. So we want him to understand that it's very valuable to stay put. If we want to have recall with it, we're going to do a different command, and that command is going to be wait. Sit. Stay. Good, stay. So I took half a step just to set Bach up for success. So would he be successful? Does he know that command? No. So I need to do as much as possible to keep him successful, which is simply barely going anywhere. Stay. Good, stay. And now he's released and successful with the stay. Good. Stay. Nope. Stay. And so we have another tool, the box, which will create a very clear boundary. You can use an outdoor bed, works great. Something that is elevated, so when they step down, it creates a much clearer boundary than just one tile to the other, right?
So that's a good question. So when I got, because they all have all kinds of dog houses, should I get something that's a step up?
You can. That's more.
So his
so-
problem is, remember, he's okay coming up the stairs. He's not going down the stairs yet. Although he figured out how to jump off the couch the other day. So
it'll be a good segue in between the stairs and.
Yeah, it won't be a high. I don't think it'll be maybe 6 inches or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
I don't think it'll be a problem at all.
Okay.
I would love to go grab the box,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, please.
Do you have a slip leash by chance?
I have. Where is it? Yeah, right here. And then I gotta put the harness on him.
So do you remember the leash I had last time?
I don't remember.
Okay. I don't think I ended up sending you a link.
Okay. You don't like these type of leashes?
So no, they're retractable, and the harness doesn't allow you to have control. You said he doesn't pull much, correct?
No. Well, I haven't really spent. If I've had this on him maybe 4 times, it's been a lot. Usually, if I meet my cousin and his kids want to see the dog at an ice cream place, I don't want him to run around the parking lot, so I put him on.
Of course.
That. But for the most part, he's been kind of.
So that
born free.
teaches a lot of pulling, and we want to deter that. So the slip leash adds pressure, and then we want to release pressure.
And the collar, so it should be a collar?
It's just a simple rope, and it creates a noose, so it tightens down when
And that's not cruel, that's not...
No. It's what your veterinarians use, your groomers, Cesar Millan, and pretty much most trainers.
So you're not a big fan of the harnesses?
The harnesses encourage pulling, so he's gonna put all his weight against that harness
Right.
and get where he wants to go. One of the self-rewarding behaviors of walking is, I wanna get to smell that bush. I wanna go say hi to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do, we learn, if I pull hard enough, I get what I want. And so we wanna deter that. So we're not just gonna let him lean against the slip leash, but what we're gonna do is lots of U-turns. So if he puts pressure on that slip leash, we're gonna turn and walk the other way, doing those U-turns. We also wanna walk very sporadically. This is gonna teach Bach, he doesn't know where he's going. So if we take the same route every day, he's gonna wanna lead us. He is not the pack leader, we are. So we need to teach him, he has no idea where he's going. If he is in front, that's fine, but we want to be able to recall him into the heel command. Good, sit, brick. And since he's doing the desired and waiting patiently, we want to every so often recognize that and give him a little reward. Good boy. Good boy. Any questions?
No,
with pulling?
this is great. This is great.
Perfect.
Now, what I did was, I did not order the crate, because what I did was, and it probably accomplished the same thing. Go in here for a second.
Of course.
What I did was, I put a box in, it's essentially you can't go over this side.
Okay, and has he been eliminating inside his crate?
Well, he starts to bark, and when he does the barking, I take him out, and he seems to go.
And then so when he does go, I want you to celebrate him and throw him a party, right? Lots of clapping. Good boy, Bach. Good boy. Good potty outside. And then, right, you put him back in here. That, him barking to be let out because he has to eliminate, is him letting us know, hey, I gotta go.
Okay.
And so if you put him back in there and he doesn't bark, perfect. We want to take him out every time he barks. That way he can eliminate. But if he learns, I bark, that takes me out, not the best result.
Right.
But we can tackle that when it comes to it. He should learn longevity and learn how to hold it longer and longer.
Now, I haven't been consistent in that, I've only been in there probably 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Normally what I do is before I go to bed, is I like to, he's too insistent. If I let him run around, even if I put the gate up to the walk out of the bedroom, he wants to go to bed, which I really don't want to do. So it's worked so far, 9 around 9 o'clock, before I'm about to knock out, because he should he be sleeping in the same room that I'm in? Or that's probably, or can I, might be an emotional problem by having him sleep.
So it's better he sleeps separate from you, ideally.
Okay, good, I prefer that.
To normalize that separation, right? There's probably gonna be a learning curve with it
Right.
if he's been sleeping in there.
Right. So theoretically, I should put that in here and have him put in that.
Yeah, but then he may bark because, hey, Dad, come get me. I know
Yes,
you
right.
come get me.
I'll experiment tonight to see if that works.
Yep, and we may wanna wait increments, right? Make sure he's on a routine to where at least within 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 max, that he gets to go out at 8 a.m. every morning, no matter what, right? 10 o'clock, he gets to go out. Then throughout the night, he gets maybe 1 time or 2 times. And if you can kind of pinpoint, oh, he needs to go out at this time, you can set an alarm and get him out before he needs to go.
Okay.
Put him back in the crate, and then work on 4-hour increments in the night, maybe. Work then every few days, maybe a week, at an hour.
Right.
During the day, because of his age, about 2-hour increments is good.
Okay.
If he's gonna be creative. Good sit, and this is great. For a puppy, this is awesome. Good sit. And so for that come command, right, lots of smooching noises.
Let's go back to the.
Okay, perfect, yes.
Right. And from a weather standpoint, because it's gonna get hot out here.
It really is.
I really can't, I've made a determination it's impossible to walk in, especially when it's 105 outside. So the question really is that, because you don't want to do anything cruel. If he has water up here and he has covering, can I leave him up here for a few hours? I mean outside.
Outside?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay.
Not for a few hours, not in the dead of summer. Because he is somewhat of a fluffy dog and may be rough on him.
Okay. How long do you think I can keep him there?
I would leave him on the balcony max 30 minutes to an hour.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So 2 hours, maybe pushing it. You could also judge it off of how you would be okay outside, right?
Yeah, right now the weather's nice. You know.
100%.
You know, I could probably go longer than that,
But when it gets to 115, it's brutal out there.
Oh yeah.
And so midday, no, but at night when the sun's down and it's 100 degrees out, it's a different story. If he has water, things like that.
Right.
No. And so for the barking, you can step into his space, letting him know, no. Sit.
That's what I want to talk to you about as well. When he goes into his barking spells, is there a way to stop it?
So stepping into his space and
Right.
backing him off. And then redirecting to that desired behavior.
So,
No. Yes. Let's go. And so you can redirect. And we don't always have to have the treats as a high value reward. We can also use pets and praise, right? So lots of positive affirmation. Sit. No. Sit. Good boy. That's a good boy. Thank you. Good boy. How's he been with teething, anything like that?
he still, bites a little bit, but nothing with enough pressure. Occasionally I'll have to, ouch.
Yeah.
To make sure he gets that.
Perfect.
But that hasn't been a major problem so far. I mean, fortunately, knock wood here, he hasn't started really chewing on anything. That may happen.
Yeah,
And
and so make sure we have, when we go through teething, we want a lot of toys that'll help.
yes, I have a ton of toys, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
With the hands, we want to keep our hand there. We don't want it to be a game. So if we're pulling our hand away, it becomes a game of chase, right?
Right.
It triggers the prey drive.
Right.
And so we want to leave the hand there. And just like you said, high pitch, whimper, ouch, something like that. That can tend to work. If it doesn't, you could do the mama bite on the side of the neck, which, right, also works. So
Now, when occasionally I'll hear it, especially if it's in the afternoon and I'm ignoring him, he'll growl, and I think it's a playful growl, but I also hope he's. Is the growl what kind of behavior is that? Emotion is that emoting?
it could be excitement, fear, aggression, but with him, it's going to be excitement.
Okay.
So dogs will growl, bark, very normal for them to exhibit those behaviors when they're overexcited.
Right. He's probably pretty hungry. Well, you've given him a few.
Oh
treats.
yeah, but yeah, no, I'm sure he's hungry, and we can feed him in a few minutes here. Good, yeah. And so when you do switch that food to the adult food, maybe because it says up to 10 months,
Right.
so around that 9-month mark, start integrating the next level of
Mixing the other food.
correct. So
Yeah.
maybe like a 90-10 to begin with, and then slowly start to substitute it out.
Right. I mean, I don't think he's gonna get that much bigger. I mean, he was this big when I got him,
Yeah.
and I don't want to. No one likes an obese Shih Tzu, so I don't want to. I'm not gonna overfeed him.
I would rather see a thin dog than an overweight dog. It's
Right.
just so hard on their joints and hips. It's
Yeah.
like same with us, right? It is what it is.
Well, the problem with dogs versus cats is that the more food you give them, they'll eat it.
Oh, 100%.
You know, they don't have that. Let me stop it. But it's pretty funny because I feed him like clockwork at 7 a.m. and at 5 p.m. And when he hears me go into the little pantry there and get the food, he can hear the rattling and he can already anticipate he's about to be fed. And of course, he knocks it off in about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feed him in a regular bowl like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Is there something? Should I use something different, or is that?
So one thing that would be good, and he does have that flatter face, and so there's special slow feeders, but
Oh, you mean like one of those auto feeders?
no. So let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. Slow feeder. So the Frenchies are really hard to find a good slow feeder for, but they have them. And I'll send this to you. But there's different ones. So bowls like this, so they can't just chow down.
Oh, that's interesting.
In-
So it
in
forces
30
them to be a little bit
seconds.
slower.
Yep, definitely. And so I'll slow this.
Yeah, forward me the link and I'll get a couple. I didn't realize that. That's a good idea.
Oh, and then the slip leash. Let me do that real quick. So they have quite a few different ones, right? These ones are what your vet's gonna have. Very cheap, very flimsy.
No, something good quality. A good quality one that you like.
Definitely. And then, but
And
yeah,
that-
I'm
and that
sure
includes-
you've seen
And that includes
those.
the collar as well.
So
It's
it
like
is.
a rope.
It's just a rope. So you'll keep this brown stopper on the outside, and then it just simply goes around the dog's neck just like that. And so the goal with it isn't to. The goal with the slip leash is to add pressure as a deterrent or guidance.
Right.
Right. If we need to guide them up onto something, you apply pressure, and when they move in the direction you want them to go, there should be a release of pressure. So teaching them what's desired versus undesired.
See, you know what? Here's a question for you too. Is that sometimes I bring them in the car, and I never want to be in a situation where he gets ejected from the passenger seat. So I went out and bought one of those things that it goes around the headrest, and this has been, if this is on him, I can, connect that little thing on the headrest to the harness here. So even if God forbid, I ever got into a car accident, he would go through the windshield, he wouldn't get projected.
Definitely.
So should I just get a regular collar for him then?
So no. So with the things that hook up to, and so this is gonna go underneath if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And this one works. And when you hook it up, do you hook it up to here?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we don't want, with a regular collar, if you were to hook it to there and get in a car accident, they're gonna get yanked by their neck.
Yeah, this one at least would okay.
It's towards the front of the chest. That works great.
Right.
They also sell seat belt buckles that buckle into the seat, and then that hooks onto the front of their harness.
Right.
Those ones are great as well. But yeah, we want to keep hooking it up to the front of that, so there's nothing around the neck.
Good. Okay.
As far as, so you could use that going to and from. I always recommend it. And then when you are doing the training, slip leash going for walks.
Right.
So remember, the goal when we're walking is they want that forward momentum. That's the self-rewarding behavior. We need to implement those U-turns, simply walking the other direction. Sporadic walking, so he doesn't catch on to which way we're going. You can do figure eights, things like that can be very beneficial. Good, sit. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. If we notice he wants a smell, I want to make sure he has that time to take the smell in. It's very stimulating for them, and it helps them exert some of that excess energy. And if you know he wants a smell, you bring him over to it. Mm-hmm. But if he tries to drag you over there, then nope, you lose that privilege.
Right.
So you can do a 180 and simply bring him back to that smell. We're not just gonna let him choke himself against that slip leash. We're gonna redirect him, tell him let's go, and we're gonna walk him back around, and then we can take him to that smell. That way we are leading him where we want to go, but also giving him that reward.
Now, I've also noticed too, is when I did walk him, and I haven't walked him properly, for the last week or so because I've been doing this deal. I know it sounds crazy, but the dog, the Shih Tzu at least, they won't defecate next to you. And it's almost like my reaction sometimes. He wants privacy.
Yes.
He'll and I don't know whether I'm nicking that up, which is kind of strange. Can an animal even understand?
They can, right? They want a little alone time. They don't want that.
So that's not my imagination.
No.
That's interesting.
Definitely.
Urination is a different story. They'll urinate.
It's almost a pride thing.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I did that. Whereas I feel like it's pretty universal almost with all creatures. That's a little.
It's really weird. I mean, he would go like 25 feet away, the sniffing would start, and he, and you're staring at him, and he's almost embarrassed. Mm-hmm. Frankly, it's kind of funny.
No, back up. You can put anything on command. Use word association to teach it. So back up, back up. Good, back up. Yes.
Now here's a question for you. I haven't really used it, but I bought a thing from Amazon. It's like $30. It has like a little strobe light and some ultrasonic sound. It claims to make a dog stop barking. First of all, can that harm a dog?
So I haven't personally used it. I've heard some pretty negative things about it. Clients don't like it.
Because it hurts the dog, or because it just doesn't work?
It hurts it. I don't know if it's the right word, but I don't know because it's not physically harming the dog.
Right.
But I don't know if it's causing some long-term trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
I've used it a few times, and like especially the strobe light, he'll react to it. You know, now I don't know whether it's hurting his eyes or whatever.
Right.
But
and
you know,
so that is definitely a newer tool. It's been around the last couple of years.
yeah. It was only $25. It wasn't.
Yeah, I have one at home. I've thought about trying it.
Right.
I just.
Well, this is good. You've given me a lot of material here to work with.
It's timing. If we can somehow perfect the way it's used and timing spot on, then it can be a very valuable tool. Same as the e-collar, the shock collar.
Right.
Not right, because it has been demonized. Right, people think it's evil. I will do it on myself in front of clients. I try to get clients to try it on themselves. That way they don't realize, and don't get me wrong, there's stronger e-collars out there, the hunting ones.
Yeah.
Things like that when you need an instant turnaround.
Well, you know, it would be kind of cool, and there are a couple of companies that have it, but I don't know how well developed they are. But you know, the robot vacuums, I can go onto a map and say, do not go into that space.
Yes.
It will block out an area. If you could do that similar with a one of these shock collars, where you could say, don't go on this rug.
So they do. They have boundary,
right?
Different boundary training ones.
But the shock thing, it is not cruel.
Some dogs.
And when the dog get used to it too.
So yes and no. Shadow, I use it on my dog when he's off leash or when we're working with other dogs.
Right.
Because I need him to respond immediately without hesitation. And sometimes he likes to take his leisurely time.
Right.
And so I don't need to even shock him. I give him the beep or the vibrate, and he knows, oh, okay, I better do what I'm told.
Right.
Maybe 1 out of 25 times I'll give him a zap, if that. More often than not, the dogs respond. But you set the tone from the beginning. And you also let them know that this collar isn't this evil thing. The collar goes on, you give them a reward, right? So they're almost excited for the collar.
Right.
It shouldn't be something that's demonized, but timing needs to be spot on. We've had quite a few clients come from programs that only rely on the e-collar, and I don't like it for basic training. Only time and a place for certain tools, right? Off-leash training, things like that. Boundary training, if you don't, especially right on the East Coast where you don't have fences, those e-collar, those boundary markers, fantastic tool.
Right.
So you can let your dog go out and always know he's not gonna leave that boundary.
Yeah.
And so when it's a safety.
My reaction with him so far, even when I let him outside and I don't have a leash on him, he won't go more than 10 or 15 feet away from me. He knows where the food's coming from.
Yeah.
And first of all, this is a gated community. It would be impossible for him to. He might be able to hide it for a little while.
Yeah.
But you can't. You know, this place is like Fort Knox.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about him.
If he does get away, remember, we don't want to make it a game of chase. Just like our hand, we want to trigger his pre-drive. So we're going to back up, we're going to get down low, and we're going to maybe do some smooching noises where we could even walk away. We want to trigger that prey drive and have him come after us.
Right.
Good. Yes. Have you had an opportunity to work on down at all?
Down? Oh, going down the stairs?
No, just sit.
No,
down.
I haven't tried that yet.
Okay. So for down, it's going to be an upside down 7.
Okay.
Where we want to be able to have the treat stay attached to his nose. If he can't keep the treat attached to his nose, then we are moving too fast.
Okay.
Down. Good, and we'll take it. So right there, whether he's 80% down, good, down. Yes, good. sit, down, no. And so for now, we'll stick with a lure, but as quickly as possible, we want to eliminate the lure and wean him off of that.
Mm-hmm.
That way he can do it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
see,
There
on
we
the flat,
go.
yeah.
And so with the upside down 7, we're coming down, and then we want his legs to start to fold underneath him.
Right.
And so it's upside down, come in a little, and then when he does start to fold his legs, we're gonna slowly drag that tree
Right.
outwards. Good. Down. 3 to 5 seconds
Yep.
in between commands. And to wean him off, I'm gonna try to avoid using treats, but then I'm gonna mark it no, down, and I'm gonna use that lure the second time. And we instantly got it. Good, down, brick. And so that was pretty good. He's smart, he's a quick learner.
Yeah.
Do you wanna get his food ready?
Yeah, let's, so I normally
Work on
do
some
here.
stay. And then I did send you that,
Those links?
those links.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So John, what I do is just give him a cup.
Oh, I thought there was water in there.
No,
You're
no,
coming
no.
over saying, hey,
No.
Matt, there's something missing.
No, but I'm gonna buy those other bowls you took. And this is just about all I give him. Isn't weird that. And so I like that idea of that other bowl that forces him to take more time.
Definitely.
Ready?
And so if I may,
Yeah, please.
would you just put it on the ground normally?
That's what I would do.
Perfect. So we're gonna start making him work for it. Sit. Good, sit. No. Come. Sit. Good, sit. No. And so back to restart, right?
So you're trying to get him to stay in a sitting position?
And so it's a very,
This
it's a
is
waiting
a tough
game,
one.
definitely. And so at the end of it, we're gonna set him up for success. So
Right.
he's not gonna be able to do it day 1 perfect.
Right.
So I'm gonna release him and then just put it down eventually.
Okay.
Come, sit. Good, sit. And we can also pay him with his kibble.
Yeah.
Stay. Good, excellent. So if you notice, I released him and kept him successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal right now. And this is a great way to work on that stay command.
Okay.
Or wait, right? Because more so if we want to have him wait over here, you could have him wait and then release him to go get his food.
Right. So for the next lesson, should we do the group thing, or what do you think?
Please, that would be great. Let me know how the sit and potty training's coming along.
I will.
Because
Now that I've been with the big pads, he's been a lot better.
Perfect.
You know?
From my understanding, we exchanged the consult for a group,
Yes,
correct?
right,
So then after today, you have 2 private and 2 group.
right.
So let me know how things are going. We may get you in for a private, but we'll book you for a group.
Yeah, that'd be great, that'd be great.
He's so cute.
See, you knocked it off.
Oh yeah, no, the slow feeder, that will be great. They also have food puzzles. Let me send you one of those as well.
What's your thought, by the way, on the whole pet insurance thing? Do you think they're a scam?
I love it. No, I love it because God, it's always my friends who don't have it.
Say, look, and he takes his, he hugs your leg, which I think is comical.
Very common boy stuff.
Yeah.
Very patiently mark it with a no. No. And step into a space. Cause he likes me. He's excited I'm here.
Right.
Right. We just had dinner together. Good. Burk. Yes.
But you said the pet insurance is a good idea?
So I have it for all my dogs. I pay $100 a month for the Frenchie because the Frenchie could cost us
Yeah.
10 grand at any moment, right?
What brand of insurance?
So we have Pets Best for Shadow, and then Ashley has Stormy on. I'll have to look, but
Send me a link of what you would recommend.
I recommend going through Progressive.
That's what my
And
insurance.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then they use Pets Best. So go through Progressive and they'll hook you up with Pets
Oh, that's
Best.
great. I'll just, yeah.
Yep. So that'll work great.
Yeah.
I don't even have Progressive, but I use their pet insurance.
Right.
And so I don't know if it's just a subsidiary of
I'll probably get a little
something.
bit, they'll probably give me a little bit of a deal.
But it's $15 for Shadows.
Yeah.
Shih Tzu shouldn't be too expensive. But yeah, the Frenchie is $80 a month.
Oh my God.
But God forbid.
I know people
Yeah.
who, and that you get a major operation. I had a friend who just, her dog passed away. It was 15 years old and it was over. And I think to put the dog to sleep, it was $400, $500.
Oh my God.
You know?
Some of these vets that's absolutely insane. Because
Who would you recommend for a pet hospital or a vet?
so emergency, everybody recommends Tropicana.
It's called Tropicana.
Tropicana ER or veterinary hospital
Right.
for emergencies. As far as
Are they open 24/7 like a real hospital?
they are, yes. So
Okay.
as far as I think there's only one or two in the entire Vegas area that
Right.
is, and they're one of them.
Yeah, it's close by.
Just walk in, but I would build a relationship maybe with the people in Centennial Hills, or I have a contact for you if you like, but I think she's in, how far is Pebbleton, Maryland Hospital?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Bach.
So this is probably too far for you. Yeah, so Centennial Hills Animal Hospital up here is great.
Was the one in Tropicana?
This one I recommend because I know a vet there. As far as over here, yeah, the Tropicana one for emergencies is fantastic. And then VCAs are always pretty good.
Okay. No, I'll check out the Progressive for the insurance, and so far, he's been pretty healthy. I haven't had any issues with it, but you
Yeah.
never know.
Honestly.
Well, great. So the next step is you're gonna get in contact with me for the
Let's
group.
let's book that now.
Yeah, let me